right, guys, so last time I promised that I was going to go over my 2 chassis systems, pistol chassis systems, conversion kits, whatever you want to refer to them as. So I'm first going to start with my CAA Micro Roni. This is the Gen 4. This is no longer sold in the US by the CAA USA. You can still get them through CAA Israel. There was some drama that went on between the original CAA in Israel and the CAA folks in the USA. So I won't bore you with that. You could probably Google it and find out a little bit more about it. But the version that they sell here in the US now is the MCK. And it looks pretty similar, except for the front end here is a little bit different. But the biggest issue that I have with the US version is, and I think that the way to get away from the patent from this guy, so that they wouldn't have any issues, was they could not include this basically safety lever here. It's basically just blocks the trigger guard. And that is my biggest issue with the US made one, with the MCK, because I would not have something like this that you might have out here just hanging in front of you with your sling or whatever, with the trigger guard completely exposed. That's just not safe. That's the reason why we have safeties on rifles, is because we don't have holsters for rifles. The rifles are going to be slung across our chest or across our back, and they're going to be exposed. That means anybody grabbing at you or whatever could actuate the trigger. That means it could get stuck in buttons. If I have a chest rig, if I have body armor, if I have a whole bunch of kit, this thing, it can get in there and it could pull that trigger. So for me, not having this is just not optional. This is an actual must, but you make your own decision about that. The reason why I like this one in particular, and I'll throw in some B-roll so you guys can watch it. This is probably the fastest conversion kit that I've seen out there, meaning that I can go from a holstered pistol into this guy in literally just seconds. And so that means that I can actually carry my pistol concealed in a holster and have the chassis be in a backpack or something, in a very small, it takes up very, very little space, and I can turn this into a little subgun in literally seconds. So the problem with this, though, the limitations with this particular one, and I've had this for years, and I had this when not everybody had red dot optics on their pistols yet. It wasn't that much of a thing. I only had 1, maybe 2 of my pistols that had red dots. Everything else, didn't. So back then it was something beneficial to be able to put this in a chassis that had an optic on it, right? Because you didn't have it on just on the slide itself. And so that was the added value here. You obviously add the added value of having the extra 2 points of contact with a cheek weld and a shoulder. This is, by the way, it's a blade. It's not a stock. Neither of the ones I'm going to show you are stock, so they're not SBRs, by the way. And so you have the extra 2 points of contact, and you have a more stable platform. You have an added optic on there, and you have the ability to now use your high capacity magazines. This is a 34 round capacity. This mag holder up front, I can put another one in there. This is a 27 round Magpul mag, and so this is pretty cool, okay? So what are the cons of this one? The cons, well, like I said, if I do have, as most of my other pistols that already have a red dot optic on them, it won't fit in here with the red dot. You would have to actually remove it and do all that stuff. So no longer would I be able to just do this within seconds and convert it into a sub gun, all right? So they're gonna have to figure out for modern pistols how they're gonna have to work around that. But again, most of you guys that don't run red dot optics on your pistols, then you're good to go. This thing, any type of Glock 19, 17, 22, 31, all of these guys work in this platform, and you're good to go. Another drawback of this particular one is even if I wanted to attach, even if I had a threaded barrel, I wouldn't be able to attach the suppressor on this because of it's inside, it's completely covered. As a matter of fact, I probably couldn't even fit this inside a threaded barrel inside of this chassis, so it has to be just a standard factory Glock in order to use this, right? As opposed to the other one that I'm going to show you coming up next, okay? So really like this guy. I shoot it really well. It's really cool. Probably the weakest link of this system is this little charging handle, because it basically is just a plastic little cover that goes into the grooves from the serrations in the slide. And the problem was that I've already gone through one where it just wore out. It just kept slipping, meaning I couldn't actually actuate the slide. Thankfully, I reached out to the folks at CAA in Israel, and they sent me 2 replacement ones. And so far, so good. I don't know how long this will last, but that's, it is what it is. So that's the Micro Roni Gen 4. It's really hard to reach the locking lever here, or the slide lock, however you want to call it. So that's one of those things that's probably another issue that I have with this particular setup, but not too big of a deal, okay? So that's the Roni. The next one is the Strike Industries SMC. I really like this guy. This is basically just a pistol, a P320, so it comes with just the body. I have just a body here so you can see. It's basically just this, and you just put in the fire control unit from a P320 in here, and that's basically it. So it's basically like a pistol, but then you mount all of these other guys to it. So I have my mount for the optic back here. I mounted the folding blade. This is also a blade, not an actual stock. This folds in either direction, so that's pretty cool. Okay, and then you just add the little mag holder. They can also use as a place to grab your hand. So right here I have a 30-round magazine. These are 30-round mags from SIG. Okay, so these are factory SIG mags, and I have myself a nice little subgun. In this case, I did replace the barrel with a threaded barrel, so I could fit a suppressor on it, unlike the other one that I can't do that. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so in that case, or in this case, that's a better setup for that. Now, this also has a safety because I built it with a fire control unit that has the safety. This came originally from an M18. I replaced that from my M18 because I don't like pistols, whether it's carry pistols or fighting pistols that have safeties on them. So I just had this fire control unit in a safe, just taking up space, gathering dust in there. And that's why I decided to use that to build a subgun with this, because I wouldn't have it in a standard pistol. But if this guy's gonna be in a subgun configuration, and I also am gonna have it, I can't have it just hanging here, then I definitely wanna make sure that I have mechanical safety there. So what are the cons of this one? The cons are that this is not a conversion where you can just go from a holstered pistol and then turn it into this immediately. In order to put the charging handle on here, and I'll remove this so it doesn't give me slide lock, in order to be able to do this with this handle and to make it so that it's permanent, unlike the one that I just showed you that it's plastic and then just fits in the grooves and eventually it wears off. This is basically, you have to remove the back plate of the slide and you attach it to that, and this is basically a semi-permanent setup, okay? So this would be something that you would have already in a backpack, something very small. Again, this barely takes up, especially if you remove all the magazines, it barely takes up more space than just the size of the pistol itself, right? So this is very easy to conceal and to carry, super, super light. But basically, you would already just have it in this configuration, and then just you'd be ready to go whenever you're ready to deploy it. So again, pros and cons for each. I think they both shine in different ways. The newest version of this is the Mark II version of this SMC. I forget what they call it. I think it's the Bravo or something, because I think the other one is the Alpha. I think this is the Bravo. So same concept, but now you can put your own slide that already has built-in red dot on it, as most people are running these days. So this is kind of like the new updated version of that. Okay, I just received this, so I haven't played around with it yet. You can tell that it comes with the little marks here for where you would Dremel out for the fire control unit that has the mechanical safety, like the other one did. I had to do the same thing with the other one. I just went in there and I Dremeled it out. It's perfect, fit perfectly. If you just follow those little kind of guides. But yeah, I might also build another version with this guy and with another, or I can just use my existing M18 slide and just throw it on here. That one already has an optic on it, and be good to go. And I just swap out the blade here. So again, just different options. It's just something I wanted to share with you guys in case you said, hey, I want something that's like a subgun, something small and something that I already own. These are some good options. And so I just wanted to share those with you. So I hope you like it, and I'll see you next time. Bye.